Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living. Excuse me. Let's try that again. Welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And Michael's going to light our candle and explain the significance of it.
Yeah, well, good morning to everyone who's watching here, who's live, and also those of you who are watching us on Facebook and also on YouTube. Welcome. So this is the only ceremonial thing that we do, but I think it has significance. So I'm lighting a candle that has 2 wicks. The wax represents that there's only one. That there's only one. So we light the first one. The first wick representing that there's only that the kingdom of God is within us, and that we are the light, that we are the God that we're seeking, is that the God is right there within us, as us, and through us. And the second wick, see how much more light that it shows, because again, that we're gathered together. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. And John's going to do an opening song for us.
Here we are together.
John, we're not hearing you at all.
We aren't?
No, not the music anyways.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dear, hold on. It's on. You can't hear that?
Try it again. No, can you guys hear it?
No. So you need to put your original sound for musicians on.
It is on, but
Okay,
it says it's on.
But you have noise suppression. Could you just play a couple of notes real quick? Yeah, you have noise suppression on.
Noise suppression. I didn't turn it on.
Go to your audio settings.
Yeah.
Okay, and take out your noise suppression. Should have original sound for musicians, echo cancellation.
All right.
Okay.
No, there's no noise removal.
Okay, try it again. Let's all say the affirmation. Technology is my friend.
I'm not being able to turn my original sound off to turn it back on again. But you're not hearing that?
No.
I'm gonna have to probably log back in, maybe.
Okay.
All right, do that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and chat amongst yourself. I'll be back.
We apologize for everyone we have a technical problem here, so but we will get John back in here in a moment so he can do.
Why don't I will do 365 and.
Okay, that's fine.
So
while he's doing that, we'll go ahead and do our next thing, which would be the reading from 365 Science of Mind.
So we read from Science of Mind 365. So let's just take a deep breath in, and just again, that the affirmation I think is a good one for today. It says, "My soul is at peace. My soul is at peace." So when a problem confronts me, I take it to the silence of my consciousness. Instead of thinking of the problem, I think the answer. The divine presence guides and guards and protects me. It counsels me with wisdom. It sustains and upholds me in everything that I do. Having recognized the divine presence as my guiding star of hope, assurance, and certainty, I also recognize the universal law of mind as my servant. My faith in this law causes it to act upon my faith, bringing it into my experience those things that I accept. I know today that I am free and unhindered. I feel the operation of divine love and universal law in my affairs. I know that everything I do is governed by love and controlled by law. I am conscious that I am one with all people. In complete reliance upon the divine and with the absolute faith in the goodness of God, I lay aside anything within me that contradicts the divine and know that today peace, fulfillment, and happiness are mine. My soul is at peace, rejoicing in the eternal movement of mind, of spirit, of God in all of my affairs. Science Mind 365, and that reading is for October 26th.
All right. Thank you, John. Let's see if you
Can you
can.
hear? Can you hear that? Well, something's really wrong because I got the sound on.
Okay. Well, why
All
don't you?
right. Well, let's just again, good. Let's just go ahead and we'll move on. I'll do the meditation here, and
Well, let him try to do. Are we just going to just forget a song at all? Is what you're saying?
we're
I
moving on
guess
with our service.
I don't know why it won't work.
We're moving on with our service, and we are going to go into the silence.
Okay. Well, we'll
So
let
if
you.
we could, let's just again just take a deep breath in. I know John's working on so we're affirming technology is my friend. That's a affirmation from my friends who teach Louise Hay. Technology is my friend. As we breathe in and breathe out, just take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. Release, relax, and just let go. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale and exhale. So just let the chair support you. Allow yourself just to scan your body from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Are you holding on to any tension or pressure? Are there any spots in your body that are maybe tighter than others? Just allow yourself just to gently put your attention on those tight areas and watch as they just disappear just by putting attention on them. That's right. Just let that tension go. Allow your body now to be a conduit of spirit, of life. And so let's recognize that God within us by going into our heart area. Again, as I've said before, that the ancients have revered this area as the dwelling place of the Most High. Allow yourself now, if you can, is in your mind's eye, in your imagination, imagine now a pilot light, a pure white light there. That pilot light, again, is a lot like your pilot light on your stove. It's always lit, always there, never goes out. That's the spark of divinity in us. And so just allow that now to ignite your heart area into a brilliant ball of pure white light. The ancients have called this, again, the area, again, the sacred heart, the heart chakra, the dwelling place of the Most High. Just allow yourself now just to see that light and allow yourself now just to go into that light and to be absorbed into that light. Very good. And allow yourself now just to be the light. Be the light. Just be the light. That's right. Breathe in and breathe out. And recognize with me that there is only one light that is everywhere present, it's everywhere powerful, everywhere all-knowing, everywhere active, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, omniactive, that there's only God in and through and as its creation, but not absorbed by its creation. That's right. And recognize with me that we are emanations of that light. The God as us, in us, and through us. The God living its life as us, individualized, not separate. Just feel that, know that. Feel that in every cell of your seen and unseen bodies, that you are one with this. Just allow yourself to be who you are. And that is divine. In every cell, every atom of your body, in every aspect of your unseen bodies, just allow yourself to align to that divine pattern of you. So know with me that we are creative. And it's because that we are one with this one life, whether we like it or not. We are creative, whether we like it or not. And so we can create the world around us that we desire. That we do not have to be a victim to circumstance. So today we allow peace into our lives in every area of our lives. Peace, be still, and know that I am God. Yes, we allow that perfect peace that passes all understanding to be our peace now. We allow prosperity and abundance to overflow not only our bank accounts, but all of our affairs. The one thing that we always have is we have ideas, prospering ideas that we can always use. So we allow ourselves to receive those ideas now that we're easily and effortlessly allowed to put into use. We now allow our body temples now to align to that perfect pattern of wholeness that's always been there. Yes. In God, that there is no dis-ease or no patterns of harm or nothing eating away at us or whatever that the earth patterns may be. We recognize right here the health of God flowing in us, as us, and through us now. And we recognize that in each other today. And we recognize that in us meeting today. For our light again shining not only here in the Akron area, but around the world. By the use of this technology, is that I know that people just come across this meeting today out of the blue, supposedly by accident. But today, the reason that they are here is because they are open and receptive to receiving good in their lives, to being divine beings that they are. So I just really just bless our meeting, and I do put forth the affirmation that technology is our friend. And we allow ourselves now just to flow, to ebb, just to be in that divine Tao of life. Yes. So I just give great thanks for everyone on the call today, on this Zoom call and at our service. And I just now know that not only does it bless us, but us meeting today blesses the world. And for this, I just give great thanks. As I release this word on behalf of all of us to that creative law, which only knows to do one thing, and that is say yes. The universe says yes. Yes. Yes, and so it is. And so we just let it be. We let it go. Yes. And so now from that quiet place within, just again, just allow yourself now just to come back into the room. Just feel your body and allow yourself now just to open your eyes and look into each other's eyes here. See the divine in them. Yes. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, everybody. All right. Well, our special speaker today is John David Miller.
Let me
So,
just pluck a string and see if you can hear it yet.
okay.
Nothing, huh?
No.
That's really strange. Well, yeah, today I'm going to talk about mystical plasma. And I thought I had a unique idea, but I found out I didn't. But it's kind of an exploration of scientific spirituality. Well, first let's talk about mysticism. So this is kind of an introduction to mystical spirituality. Experience of the sacred is as diverse as humanity, ranging from primitive animism to pantheism to a moral code and even to sophisticated theologies all over the world. The problem is attitude, where our religion is right, yours is wrong, and that, of course, can even lead to hate and bloodshed. So, in the psychohistory of our human consciousness, primordial humans were in awe of their environment. They perceived spirits or souls in everything: people, animals, trees, wind, and water. And that was called animism by the experts. But as individuated consciousness developed out of tribal consciousness, there arose a sense of separation. Dualism developed: me and not me, consciousness and the unconscious, good and evil, light and dark, sacred and profane, God and devil. And our view of the cosmos, cosmogony, first of all, how the world was formed, has mythologies and theories of various kinds. The classic mythology of ancient times was the hero god vanquishing the chaos monster, and then creation being made out of the remains of the chaos monster. And then later in modern times, we have the Big Bang theory. And the universe starts and little particles fly out from the Big Bang and eventually cool and coalesce into all the objects of the universe and so on. And then you have what I call eternal intelligent plasma. And how the world is structured, the cosmology, the universe, the structure and the maintenance of the universe. Some ancient cultures, many of them, had a New Year's festival where they enacted a certain ritual every year to very instrumental in sustaining the order of things as they saw it. Often it was a reenactment of that victory of the hero god against the chaos. And they would eventually develop dogma and ritual and prayer and so on, and ways of compelling favor of the god or gods. But recognition of mystical presence is the highest form, I think, of spirituality. And, we have all our religions. Of course, the term blessed be the tie that binds, because that's what religion really means, is tying things together. But again, these religions have become dogma and often raised combative issues between peoples of various cultures. But religion really should be about, and our spirituality about, our connection to God and our world, our community, the institutions of our community, and so forth. And over the years, we've had many different participants at the leadership level, I guess we'll say, like witch doctors and shamans and oracles, priests and pastors, monks and nuns, mediums, and mystics. And I kind of always have followed and enjoyed the mystics. So let's look at some examples of spiritual experience. First, you have awe and wonder like in those ancient times at nature and fire and electricity, lightning, things like that. But we've always had dreams, visions, out of body travel. Many ancient passages described in people's experiences as well, describe epiphanies, appearance of God in your life or an agent of God. It may be in a dream, but also in physical reality, and miracles and healings of various kinds. And then there's the whole discussion of reincarnation, which was kind of eased out of our scriptures at the Council of Nicaea, but were, I think, originally there, and there's hints of it. But in many other cultures, it's a part of their concepts of the way things work. And then we have meditation, as we just experienced, which was a very nice meditation. It calms the mind. It moves us into expectancy. It submits the ego to a possibility of transformation. So another aspect of spiritual experience, we look to have an end to our suffering or terrible circumstances. For many people, religion is an important belief in some kind of narrative of salvation or relief or hopium of a better life. And in New Thought, we talk about practical mysticism. It's still in the realm of thought and belief to some degree, but we get the concept of mysticism. What we want is the full experience of it. We talk about metaphysics beyond the physical, psychic phenomena, near-death experiences, death itself, what that might be like, and seek to have a mastery over our physical, being able to correct ailments and heal ourselves, and ultimately ascension, moving on into a higher realm of experience where we're fully in aware and intact. After all, death is not all it's cracked up to be anyway. And we seek the essence of divine reality, the sense of the numinous in our spiritual pursuit, a personal relationship with God as spirit, or what I call creative awareness, a presence and guidance for our lives, a return to God, and a feeling of eternal harmony and even ecstasy. And that brings us to mysticism. And it appears in all the different religions. You have Christian mystics, you have the Gnostics, you have Hasidism and Judaism, Sufism and Islam. Hinduism is full of mystical experience discussed, and Buddhism, of course, Zen. So let's looking at a definition of mysticism from Wikipedia. It's called that an initiate of a mystery religion is called a mystic. It's the pursuit of communion with, identity with, or conscious awareness of an ultimate reality, divinity, spiritual truth, or God through direct experience, intuition, instinct, or insight. It says mysticism usually centers on a practice or practices intended to nurture those experiences or awareness. Deep intrinsic connection to ultimate reality, union with God, the love of God. And many mystics cite love as their major experience, the overwhelming feeling of love that imbues them with this spiritual presence. And so traditional examples of mystical practice seeking this experience of God and the love of God: communion, where people reverently seek unification with the divine. The experience in Hasidism or Judaism of Purim, the day where you drink wine until you can't tell the difference between the mortal enemies Haman and Mordecai in the Esther story. And Sufi dancing, if you ever experienced that, it's kind of a moving ecstasy in action. In Hinduism, you talk about the release from karmic impediments. And in Buddhism, nirvana or Zen Satori, experiencing reality is not what you think and not ego, but a direct experience of reality, whether you call it God or the universe. So devotion, prayer, meditation, What does Ernest Holmes have to say about mysticism? He says mysticism is high invocation, invoking the divine mind, implanting within it seeds of thought relative to oneself. And this is why some of the teachers of older times used to teach their pupils to cross their hands over their chests and say, "Wonderful, wonderful me." Definitely teaching them that as they held themselves so, they would be held and act as though I am and I will be. Without exception, all of the mystics have taught that there is one ultimate reality. And this ultimate reality is here and now, if we could but see it. Strange as it may seem, the great mystics have all believed in a personal God. That is, a God who is personal to all who believe in him. He used him, I would say, in God. One of the most illuminating things that mysticism has revealed is that evil is not an ultimate reality. Evil is simply an experience of the soul on its journey toward reality. It is not an entity, but an experience necessary to self unfoldment. It is not a thing of itself, but simply a misuse of power. Evil will disappear when we stop looking at it or believing in it. We cannot stop believing in it as long as we indulge in it. So the mystic has always taught the race to turn from evil and do good. So that's Ernest Holmes' words about mysticism. Well, let's look at science now to bring in that aspect of it. Again, from Wikipedia, the discussion of the word plasma, that which has been formed or molded, or the result of forming or molding. It's a state of matter that results from a gaseous state having undergone some degree of ionization. It thus consists of a significant portion of charged particles, ions, or electrons. And while rarely encountered in its plasma state, that would be on Earth, it is estimated that 99.9% of all ordinary matter in the universe is plasma. Stars are pure balls of plasma, and plasma dominates the intracluster medium and the intergalactic medium. Plasma can be artificially generated by heating a neutral gas or at a very high heat, I would say, and subjecting it to a strong electromagnetic field. Plasma, the mysterious and powerful fourth phase of matter, according to Luca Commisso, research scientist at Columbia Astrophysics Lab, as published in the online publication ion.co back in 2018. Plasma, the mysterious and powerful fourth phase of matter. The connection between blood and physical plasma, this is another quote, the connection between blood and physical plasma is more than mere coincidence. In 1927, the American chemist Irving Langmuir observed that the way plasmas carry electrons, ions, molecules, and other impurities was similar to how blood plasma ferries around red and white blood cells and germs. Langmuir was a pioneer in the study of plasmas. With his colleague Louis Tonks, he also discovered that plasmas are characterized by rapid oscillations of their electrons due to the collective behavior of the particles. Another interesting property of plasmas is their capacity to support so-called hydromagnetic waves, bulges that move through the plasma along magnetic field lines, similar to how vibrations travel along a guitar string, which I plucked earlier, but for some reason you can't hear. I hear it. So I came up with this idea, well, creative plasma energy. Going back to the ancient philosophers, earth, air, fire, water, and ether, another word for plasma. It's the universal basic stuff that forms into quarks or vibrating strings, and then atoms, matter, and ultimately all creation, dimensions and densities, galaxies, vortexes, stars, planets, asteroids, comets, plasma balls, lightning, nature, plants, animals, our bodies. It's all various intensities of plasma. And another way we describe it can be life energy, ether, as I mentioned, chi, ki, prana, kundalini, spirit, wind, breath. As in the Greek New Testament, Jesus talked of spirit, wind, and breath using the term pneuma, the Greek word pneuma in the Greek translation. And more recently, orgone energy, Wilhelm Reich. It's a rarefied gas, subtle liquid light. Examples that could symbolize it or touch our thought of it would be something like the air above the tips of a fire, where you see that kind of sheen in the air that is clear, but you can still kind of see that waviness in the air. That same kind of sheen above steam in a boiling pot. A beam of light coming in the window with dust particles, identifying where that beam lies, and magnetism, the experience of magnets, and of course healing energy for those of us that maybe have taken Reiki healing and so forth. All these are different manifestations of plasma, what I call the mystical plasma. So I thought, this is a great idea, and I wonder if anybody else has thought of it. And then I found out, yeah, it's already out there in a piece called "Universal Love as a Plasmatic Field: A Theology of the Spirit in Motion," found at OpenHorizons.org. They have to say they've compiled various experts or intuitive people. Here's one from Dr. Leela Ferouz, who calls herself an imaginary plasma physicist. She says, various metaphors from the natural world are used in the Bible to describe God's spirit: voice, fire, water, wind, and breath, for example. How about plasma, too? Plasma is, after all, the most abundant form of visible matter in the universe. Why not imagine God's spirit in its glow, flow, and intensity as a kind of cosmic plasmatic gas, adding, however, that divine plasma is defined by love and purpose, not violence. It may sound strange at first, but it opens up a vision of the spirit as energetic, radiant, dynamic, and alive, not unlike the universe itself. And another quote, and this is where this term omnipotence came up. I can't find any definition of it, but it looks to me sort of like a manipulation of the word omnipotence, putting am, like I am, in front of it, sounding like the present omnipotence of the I am. Omnipotence is the most powerful force in this universe, and every other night that might exist. Every other that might exist, not night, I'm sorry. The most powerful force in this universe and every other that might exist. The spirit is strong. God is maximally powerful without being able to single-handedly determine creatures or circumstances. I guess that's allowing free will among us individuated forms of plasma. And that's from Thomas Ord, who calls himself a real theologian. And in a really interesting article called Felt Not Grasped, the Spirit as Plasmatic Love by Jay McDaniel, just a few pieces from that. He said, I have met the omnipotent Spirit of God in many ways, and I imagine you have too, through friendships, dreams, dogs, rivers, struggles, music, church, solitude, books, beauty, and prayer. By love, I mean an energy of tenderness, beauty, courage, and the will to flourish, a love energy. And later he goes on to call plasma the fourth state of matter. He says, in truth, matter exists in multiple states or phases, as scientists now say, of which solids are only one. We also have liquids, gases, and a fourth state, plasma. Matter can move between these phases. Water, for example, becomes ice or steam depending on temperature and pressure. In light of this, I offer a suggestion. The spirit of omnipotent love may be imagined as being like plasma, though animated not by electromagnetic charge, but by love as its deepest essence. Plasma is often called the fourth state of matter, consisting of highly energized charged particles such as ions and electrons. It is found naturally in stars, lightning, and the auroras, and is characterized by its conductivity, luminosity, and responsiveness to electromagnetic fields. Then he goes on to list the spirit-like properties of plasma. Here are some of those that strike him as spirit-like. First of all, it is radiant. Plasma emits light. It glows from within, shimmering with color and energy. And this radiance reminds us of the inner light many associate with God's presence, a luminous warmth that touches hearts and reveals truth without coercion. It is dynamic. Plasma is in constant motion. It pulses, swirls, expands. Like the spirit, it resists containment. It is ever unfolding, ever becoming. It is the energy of change itself. It is relational. Plasma consists of charged particles, ions, and electrons that interact in responsive, shifting ways. It's a community of elements, not a solitary force. Just as plasma is relational, so is the Spirit of God relational, flowing in and through relationships, inviting communion. And just as the Spirit is relational, so God is relational, not a solitary force outside the universe, but a presence within it, loving, responding, and co creating with all that lives. It is sensitive to its environment. Plasma responds dramatically to electromagnetic fields. The spirit, too, is sensitive to context, entering gently, moving in tune with the contours of human and more than human life. It can be found in unexpected places. Plasma is not rare. It comprises 99% of the visible universe, stars, lightnings, auroras, yet we often overlook it. The spirit, too, is frequently unnoticed, though it pulses through dreams, silence, sorrow, song, and joy. It is transformative. Plasma is a high energy state crucial to the transformation of matter and energy on both cosmic and atomic scales. The spirit transforms lives, sometimes dramatically, more often through slow, tender power like light shaping the dawn. And it is mysterious. Plasma behaves according to scientific laws, but also exhibits surprising emergent qualities. The spirit, too, is mysterious, not irrational, but transrational. A mystery of love deeper than control and more enduring than force. So there you have a description of etheric mystical plasma, a presence that we can all experience. And you too are or can be a nature mystic, a butterfly mystic. See if any of these describe something about you. A friendship mystic, a sports mystic, a music mystic, which I tried to express earlier, and maybe we'll try again, but we usually do that. Ritual music. Ritual be a ritual mystic, like into your ritual processes, or a meditation mystic, a reality mystic. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. A joy mystic, a love mystic, a healing mystic, a plasma mystic. And what is all of this mysticism about? It's about the mystical goal of realization, enlightenment, awareness. It's kind of pantheism, God manifest in all, a God at play, a cosmic hide and seek of creative energy. About reunion, there's only one network of enlightenment, creative energy, intention, frequencies, magnetism, ether, minerals, all leading to experienced reality and self-creative awareness. It's beyond religion. The experience of mystical awareness may be described as perception of creative plasma, presenting a holographic production of light, sound, sense, and mind with many levels of exploration through dimensions and densities. Through it all, each of us has the opportunity for growth in spiritual awareness. The number of those that are gaining ever more the holistic understanding of one intelligent, creative, loving energy called God by many, creating and sustaining a diverse and amazing reality. People are aware of higher consciousness, that are aware of higher consciousness, favor love, peace, and happiness as principles of life. Things we talk about every week. There's a revolution in awareness underway. The Earth is undergoing a major transformation into higher consciousness, which will gradually affect all the population. This process is obvious to those of us already engaged with expanding awareness. The key to awareness is recognizing the reality of the greater creative life energy of which every one of us is a part. Sense it in nature, people, and yourself with every breath. All the plasma, all the creativity, everything in the universe serves the loving awareness and joy process. And let me share a couple of my photographs here, if I can bring this up. Right here. Here it is. Let's see if you can see the as above, so below symbolism in this photograph. So nature is one of my favorite ways of perceiving the mystical plasma at work. And then here's a little bouquet that we put together from a funeral. I placed it out there in the weeds. You can see the contrast of plasma in its most beautiful and, what people generally consider ugly, but look how green even the weeds are, which is pretty interesting in a summer of pretty much drought. Well, anyway, mystical plasma, another way of looking at our spirituality. And thank you for being with me.
Thank you so much, John. That was very, very good. And I'm glad you used the word ether for the plasma, because that just, for me, brought it into context. For years, when I first started learning about science of mind, I didn't understand what the ether part was. You'd hear, you'd read Ernest Holmes saying about the ether and talking about it. And it's the stuff in between all the other stuff that we, basically the molecules and that we just couldn't see, and there's more of it than anything. But it really helps a lot for me to understand the plasma. And that was very, very good, and I appreciate it. So I'm going,
Basically, it's in, around, and through us.
yes, all the way, everywhere.
Mhm.
So I'm going to turn this over to anybody else who may have a question or a comment.
Thank you, John, very much. That was wonderful. And I just saw Tom Ord last week at Theology Beer Camp.
Is that right?
So they're a lot more New Thought than they think, you know. But anyhow, no, thank you. That was a wonderful explanation, and I really appreciate your scholarship and going through it. And thank you.
Carol Ann, I saw you turned off your.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Thank you, John. That was excellent. I love the increasing awareness as we develop, I'm going to say spiritually, but the increasing awareness. And you look at where we came from with this awareness, how it is just getting larger and larger and finer and finer. And the greatest thing about it is it's available to everyone.
Absolutely. All right.
Well, I'd normally play a song at this time, but if you can't hear this,
Yeah,
I don't know what's the matter with Zoom. I engaged a program to update my drivers on all the apps and so on. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but in fact, it's stuck. I can't turn original sound for musicians off to turn it back on even, it's just stuck. I don't know. Anyway, but what I thought I might do is read the lyrics of the song I was going to sing. Is a poem for a minute here, which is the term creative energy. You've heard the song before. Amazing things are going on each moment of the day, a mystery unfolding, the universe at play. Infinite possibilities, choices, changes, chance, multiple realities, a cosmic song and dance. The mystery continues with calm intensity, ideas, feelings, actions, and willing to be free. Contemplating everything beyond what we see, awareness is expressing as creative energy. It is wise to look beyond the norm, to see things differently, perceiving what is happening, creative energy. It is wise to look beyond the norm for true reality, many realms of happening, creative energy. There you have it.
all right. Thank you so much. All right. So it is that time in our service where we have the opportunity to give. There are several ways you can do that. You can go to either Zelle or PayPal, and you would put in SSC of Akron at gmail.com, and you can give online that way. Or you can send a check with or money order with the word summit on it. And that would go to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44310. And we'll get that in there. So as we symbolically take our gifts right over left, let's just know that all that we have, all that we give, all that we receive is blessed right now in a very gracious manner. And that it is going to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living and to the truth that sets us free. And so it is, and so I let it be. Amen. All right.
And so I thought instead of, again, us singing it, we can, this is a shortened form by Reverend Pam McGregor. So good and more good is mine. An ever increasing good is mine. So everywhere I go, I see good, I feel it, I experience it. It crowns itself against me, flows through me, expresses itself in me, and multiplies itself around me now. And so it is. Amen.
Well, thank you for doing that, Michael. Appreciate that. Bringing up those words. And okay, so that's time for announcements.
Yes, hi there. And Rick is patting his cat, so that's a
I
good
see that.
thing.
Nice
So
kitty.
yeah, cats are allowed at our service. I spend most of my week at ntmedia.org. So that's I produce programs and all kinds of cool stuff. So we do prayer twice a day, 8:15 in the morning and 8:15 in the evening Mountain Time. So that's 10:15 in the morning and 10:15 in the evening. I have to think in Mountain Time because that's how we operate at New Thought Media Network. But lots of good stuff happening. And so check it out. We have a great YouTube page, New Thought Media Network. That's all you have to do is type into YouTube, recommend it to your family and friends. And you know what? It's really cool because we get a lot more traffic on our Facebook page when I put up New Thought Media Network programming. So we've been getting quite a bit of our traffic over the past year has tripled because of, again, just putting up programs, stuff that I would normally do. So so that's what I'm doing. John, what are you doing these days?
Well, I'm working on my business and putting up videos at yeswise.com, particularly at my Yeswise Inspiri. I'm going to put up another one this afternoon, I think. And I also am putting the ones I've already done up one by one at YouTube, at the Yeswise channel on YouTube. So you can find it at yeswise.com or at YouTube on the Yeswise channel.
Wonderful.
They
Carolyn?
show up on Facebook too. I post what I put on YouTube on Facebook. I don't know where they go, but I put them up there.
Okay. And Carolyn, you got something going on?
I am working on fall and winter programming, and next step is to talk to Michael about dates and timing. So
Perfect. How about you, Reverend Rick?
Writing on Substack, you can find me at rickschumacher.substack.com.
Substack.
Substack, yes.
So SUBT.
SUBSTAKE.
No, Stack, Substack.
CK. Okay.
Yeah.
Substack. Okay.
rickschumacher.substack.com.
All right.
What do they post on the stack above that?
I'm not paying too much attention about what's above that.
It was interesting at the theology conference I went to is that the T-shirt that got the most attention was one that we have that we put together, the graphics at NT Media, was says praise well with others. So I got several comments about that. So that was very nice. So
Okay. All right. So it is that time where we take a moment of silence, and I will bring us in, and hopefully you'll hear it. So I'm going to turn on my musicians. There it is. Okay. All right. So please take into
too much echo.
please take into your mind anybody that may need some healing, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, whether it be a person, a government, the world. Just bring that into mind and just know that it's being taken care of right this moment. So I will bring us in and I will bring us out. All right, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us, and wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And normally John would do a song, but anyway, so thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
Hannah, you can
Thank you.
Facebook now, and then I need to talk to everybody about our